Cinnabon on wheels.
Gazelle offers what they call a dual battery setup and what I'll call a battery extender for the rest of this video on some configurations of some models of their e-bikes in the United States. I specifically bought a model that was compatible because I strongly suspected that I would someday also want the battery extender for it. My suspicions were proven correct, and I just had it installed about 10 days ago. My bike's range is now effectively doubled. So in this video, I will talk about what it is and how it works, which specific Gazelle models are compatible and why, how to order it and what it costs, 4 reasons why this can be a superior option to just carrying a second battery, and lastly, my general impressions from using it. There are 2 basic ways to connect 2 batteries together. Let's assume that both batteries are identical. You can connect 2 batteries together in series or in parallel. Assuming that the 2 batteries are the same voltage, in series means that the power or voltage of the 2 batteries are combined to effectively make one battery with double the power. In parallel, on the other hand, means that the power remains the same, but the capacity is doubled. The Gazelle battery extender connects the batteries in parallel, or to put it quite simply, instead of one battery that gives you 500 watts of energy content, you get 2 batteries with a combined 1,000 watts of energy content, which will effectively double your range. What the new and improved range will be will still depend on the same factors as it does when you only have one battery. That is, what the assistance mode you are using, the weather, etc. The default battery on a compatible Gazelle is a System 2 Bosch Power Tube 500 battery. The battery extender provides a physical means of attaching a second battery, a Bosch Power Pack 500, to your bike. The attachment point is a bracket that connects to my bike using one of the mounting points where someone would typically install a water bottle cage or some other accessory. Here is a before and after of my bike where you can clearly see where the water bottle cage used to be. The bracket appears to be held on using only one of the 2 mounting points, along with a collar mounted higher on the seat tube of the bike. A wire runs from the bottom of the bracket down into the motor area where I can only assume some sort of electrical sorcery occurs, allowing the electrical system to see both batteries as effectively one big battery. Truth be told, I did not see the battery extender installed, so I cannot talk about the connection specifically, but you can see the wire running down in this shot. Once installed, you need to buy a Bosch Power Pack 500 battery, which you can buy from a variety of places, as it is an extremely common battery, and just pop it in. It locks in place with a second key that comes with the extender. It will be a different key than the one that comes with the bike that works on the installed battery and the cafe lock. The key has an AXA logo on it. AXA is a Dutch bike accessories company that also makes the cafe lock and the front light that comes on many Gazelle bikes. Rather than list the physical dimensions of each battery for comparison, I thought it would just be easier to show them next to each other. Plus, the official dimensions indicate that the PowerPack 500 is actually longer than the PowerTube 500, and as these pictures show, that is clearly not the case. Here are the comparative energy stats. As you can see, both batteries are 36 volt, are 13.4 amp hours. They both offer 500 watt hours of capacity, and they're of similar weights, although the PowerPack 500 is a little lighter at 5.7 pounds versus 6.4 pounds for the PowerTube 500. So the PowerPack 500 is a little lighter and, as the pictures show, shorter, thicker, and comes with a built-in handle. The PowerPack battery handle is a welcome feature because it does make the battery easier to handle, unlike the PowerTube batteries. The following table shows the compatible models, but please note this is for Bosch System 2 bikes only. At the time that I'm recording this video, Bosch Smart System versions of most of these bikes are not out yet, but I suspect that they will be out soon, probably in 2026. I did speak with Gazelle USA about future Smart System compatibility, and they were not aware of any immediate plans to offer it. I would guess that they will eventually offer it, or some similar solution, but it may be a bit of a wait. As you can see, only Medeo and Ultimate models are compatible at all. But there are also compatibility restrictions based on the rise or step of the bike and the size. Low step models seem to be compatible regardless. but only high-step models of the Ultimate C380 Plus, T10, and T10 Plus, and then only the larger sizes are compatible, while mid-step and high-step models of the Medeo are compatible in all three sizes. My guess as to the why of this has to do with how the tube battery is installed. On Medeos, the battery is mounted so as to drop from the bottom, leaving installation on mounting points on the top of the down tube as an option. That said, on high-step versions of the Medeos, I believe the extender bracket is still installed on the seat tube, just like it is on the Ultimates. However, on the Ultimate bikes, the battery is installed to go in and out from the top of the down tube, meaning that the extender bracket can only be installed on the seat tube and then only on the larger sizes of the high-step bikes, and of course, low-step models as well, as they have enough room for the bracket and battery on the seat tube. The mid-rise or mid-step models do not. You can even see on my bike, which is the high step version and the largest size, there is not exactly a ton of extra room. I actually had to move my foldy lock forward to make room for the battery. The ordering and installation part is admittedly a bit of a pain in the butt. The battery extender bracket can only be ordered through a Gazelle dealer and it must be installed by the dealer as well. The base cost of the bracket is $199. But I would expect to probably pay an additional $200 or more in shop fees for installation. In all fairness, installing the bracket is not a quick and easy process as the motor has to be dropped out of the bike to run the wires, so it does take some effort. To that end, if you have a choice among Gazelle dealers in your area, I recommend having this work done at whichever dealer does the most e-bike business, as this is a very e-bike specific process. Some bike mechanics have more experience working on e-bikes than others. The last and largest expense is buying the PowerPack 500 battery. This must, of course, be a System 2 battery, but there actually isn't a smart system version of the PowerPack 500. That system instead has a PowerPack 545. You can order this battery from a variety of different places, and undoubtedly your bike shop will be happy to sell you one as well. The price I was quoted from my bike shop was pretty high, so I ordered one from RAI for about $750. That said, if you shop around, you could probably order this battery for closer to $650, but I trusted REI, so I spent a little extra to buy it through them. So all told, I was out about $1,200 just to have this setup added to my bike. There are four advantages to this system versus just buying and carrying a second PowerTube 500 battery. Number one, the obvious one, is you don't have to stop and swap batteries mid-ride. You have all of your battery capacity online and available at all times. Number two, the problem of where and how to carry your second battery is solved. The battery extender mounts your second battery in a secure location that also happens to be in the middle of the bike, inside the triangle, and low, which is much more ideal for weight balance and stability. Otherwise, you would likely either have to carry your spare power tube battery in a pannier, which would put extra weight on one side and use up storage space that could be used for something else, or strapped to the top of your rear rack, which would put the weight high up into the rear and also deprive you of your ability to put something else there, such as a trunk bag or a basket or whatever. Number three, by plugging the bike into charge, you recharge both batteries at once. This could be a pretty significant convenience factor as each individual battery can take a few hours to charge. So let's say you're at a hotel or a campsite with an electrical outlet. What happens if you need two fully charged batteries in the morning, but you want to go to bed before the first battery is finished charging? You might have to set an alarm to wake up in the middle of the night to swap batteries on the charger or, alternatively, carry two chargers. Last, and probably the most important advantage, is that the motor will drain both batteries equally instead of draining one and then starting on the next. Draining lithium batteries can result in capacity loss over time, so draining them both equally dramatically reduces the risk of draining one of them dry. Are there downsides to this system? Yes, but bike weight really isn't one of them. Yes, your bike will weigh more with that second battery installed, but it won't weigh any more than if you were carrying a second spare battery. And in this case, you don't actually need to have both batteries installed if you know you won't need them. The bike continues to work just fine with only the tube battery installed. And the extender does come with a cover plug for protecting the extender bracket's electrical connector when not in use. So here are the disadvantages I have come up with. Number one, you do lose your water bottle cage mounting location. Number two, cost, obviously. Between the cost of the bracket itself and the cost of installation, you'll probably spend $400 more than you would have spent just to buy a spare PowerTube 500 battery. And number three, I don't love how exposed the connection wire from the extender to the motor is. It runs below the bottom of the seat tube and enters the motor from the rear and is potentially in a position where road debris or some other obstruction could kick up and possibly damage the wire. But this is one of those things that is not really a problem until it is a problem. If this were a mountain bike, I would probably be more concerned. My thoughts on this system are pretty short. It works and I like it. It solves the problem I was trying to fix, which is giving me the most convenient method of doubling my range for longer rides. If you don't ever challenge the battery capacity of your current bike, you probably don't need to spend the money on either this extender setup or even buying a second power tube battery. However, if you are considering a significant range increase to your compatible Gazelle, I do think that this is overall a much more attractive option to simply buying a second PowerTube 500 battery despite the additional cost. Anyway, I hope this video helps those who are considering this as an option. Well, that's all I have. I hope this was helpful for anyone considering this battery extender system. I will be posting more content in the future, so please throw me a like and subscribe. It really does help to increase the visibility of my videos. And get out there and ride your bike.